Every year that he's competed. Now Loeb makes a disappointing start that time though in the ROC buggies with Filipe Albuquerque with the less orange on his car, the more black of the two machines over the bridge. The Portuguese has a slender advantage. 2 wins will do it. Will it go all the way to 3? Loeb is not going to be an easy touch, so Albuquerque, that big exhalation when he beats Sebastian Vettel will be even bigger if he pulls one off against Sebastian Loeb, because that puts him right in the driving seat.
I think when they come back around this time, Loeb's going to be just slightly ahead, Martin, because he's had a really good second half of that first full flying lap, but there's nothing between them. Look at that, 0.2 of a second, and the Frenchman now, the man who's used to sliding a car around, but he's renowned, of course, for being very precise in his rally car. Even when he's off the tarmac surface, he doesn't fling the cars around. Perhaps not the most spectacular of rally drivers, but that's been a great third lap by the Portuguese driver Albuquerque, and this is going to be super close.
It is going to be very close indeed. Don't forget, Vettel was in front before. Loeb's on the inside. Albuquerque's racing to the line. He's going to take it. He does take it. He does take it. Albuquerque came from behind in the semi to beat Vettel. He's come from behind to go 1-0 up against Sebastian Loeb. Shoo, yes.
Do you know what?
Look at him.
Loeb lifted too early. He didn't hold the throttle right through the line.
I don't think he changed up. I think he held the car and it hit the limiter. I think he held the gear and it hit the limiter because he didn't surge on.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. That could well be it. Remember when Albuquerque won from that inside lane, he really had to jump on the brakes to get the car stopped before going through the barriers. And you might be right there. If we get a replay of the end of this race, let's see again. It wasn't the best of starts by Loeb, but then he seemed to get into his stride very quickly. And at half distance, he was ahead.
Yeah, once it got moving, he was really in control, but again...
He's doing that starting in second thing that Schumacher was doing.
On the second lap, Albuquerque, like with Vettel, all over him. And Loeb, well, Albuquerque had the run on him, and Loeb just didn't get any quicker to the line.
So Sebastian Loeb can afford no more slip-ups. He's got to win this one to take it to a decider.
Yeah, he must win 2 races straight against Albuquerque. KTM crossbows, and then presumably back into the buggies, or would the decider be in, I don't know, Audis, Porsches, what?
Well, they've got passengers already strapped into the KTMs with this 2-litre TFSI Audi engine.
Well, Albuquerque now has nothing to fear. He's driven everything. He's won in everything. They may not necessarily be his favourites. He may have, a distinct favourite. He may not. But clearly, those 2 practice runs I had with him on Friday have really given him the incentive he needs. Now that he's not got some big lard alongside him, he's even quicker than before.
They keep telling him the first time he loses, they're going to put you back in the car with him, yes, and that's been his incentive.
That's exactly right.
Remember that gobby tall bloke that you had in on Friday? Yeah, you get to take him again if you lose.
No, don't make me. Don't make me.
No.
So, Albuquerque's now he's just going to cool himself down again, get that adrenaline, keep it there, keep the momentum, keep the pressure on Loeb.
Now, Loeb was on the inside line last time, so presumably they'll swap that over.
I would think so.
Loeb in the white KTM. Yes, he's gone out first, which tends to mean that that's who goes to the outside lane.
Exactly so. And Albuquerque with orange, so...
Right.
My feeling is that Loeb will fight back in this one, and we will go to a third and deciding one, but Albuquerque has a way of winning these things even from behind.
I've got my money in the guy in the VW Touareg who followed them out there, I think.
I'm not sure he's got much of a chance, frankly.
Right, Sebastian Loeb, practice start. You just see the rev limiter light there flashing on the dashboard.
Well, Filipe was definitely in first. I wonder whether Loeb was just practicing it in second.
Second gear start again, yeah.
Don't know.
We've we've talked about this all weekend. I appreciate that people are joining the coverage all the time. There's been a massive debate between the drivers about particularly some of these buggies and the KTMs about whether to change gear or not.
Well, also when we were at the start line in practice, Alain Prost, it would go from 0 to 2, 0 to 2, couldn't get it from neutral into first.
Which is what happened with Vettel, and he changed the car out.
Exactly so. Here we go then. Albuquerque with the orange highlights, white highlights for Sebastian Loeb. Very even start from both men. Albuquerque now, of course, has to resist the temptation to overdrive it. He has the upper hand now. Loeb has to win to keep this final alive, to keep his enviable record alive. Big lock-up there from him. Albuquerque, silky smooth again.
It's there, you know. Albuquerque's not too far back. When they come round to the line this time, that'll be the first full circuit, and Albuquerque is keeping Loeb honest. Indeed, he might just have his nose ahead. No, it's just the Frenchman as they go across the line, but it's half a width of one of the wheels on the KTM.
Albuquerque now needs to have another good second lap. Loeb, a mistake coming up onto the bridge, perhaps. Down he comes under the bridge. They've got another half lap when they get to the line this time. Albuquerque relatively smooth. Another little lock up into the first corner from Loeb. Just carries too much speed in, drifts a little wide, gets it neater under the bridge. Albuquerque's over the bridge. No, here he comes. This is going to be very close indeed. Albuquerque turns tight. He's got the shorter run to the line. Can he keep the power on? Loeb! Oh, Loeb takes it by hundreds.
Oh, look at that. Thank goodness.
Hundreds of a second.
Thank goodness we've got that new Lynx by Tag Heuer scoring there. We are working that out. Loeb just managed to get the power on early enough coming out of that final corner. I do think that there might be a slight advantage to being on the outside, to be able to stay on the power longer going to the line. Well, you get on it earlier and you stay on it longer.
If there is, then that will play into the hands of Filipe Albuquerque, who will start on the outside in the third and defining run of the Race of Champions.
Look at him looking at the screen.
Can't believe it.
He was looking up at the screen at the south end.
He had no idea whether he had won or Sebastian Loeb. It's okay, it's okay.
Albuquerque, perhaps a slightly easier run through to the semi-final, beating Alvaro Parenti's countryman, but then he was up against not only one driver, but 40-odd thousand people in the stadium when he took on and beat Sebastian Vettel.
And don't forget, he'd beaten Vettel
through against Christensen. It was very tight, perhaps tighter than the Frenchman wanted to. He was dozing a little bit on the last part of the lap, admitted as much, got down to around about a tenth of a second, then up against Priaulx. And Andy perhaps not quite at his best in the semi-final. 0.8 of a second the winning margin for Sebastian Loeb. So it all comes down to the final race. Just over 1,200 metres of competition around the Esprit Arena here in Dusseldorf for the champion of champions for 2010, and it's in, appropriately enough, the ROC buggies.
Absolutely. Sebastian Loeb, 3 times a winner of this title, versus first-time appearance man Filipe Albuquerque. Portugal versus France, racing versus rallying, newcomer versus old hand. In fact, to win his second champions title, Loeb beat Tom Christensen in the final. Fredrik Jonsson goes over to him.
Oh dear, the start's going to be crucial here. Loeb didn't get a great one when he was in this machinery before.
Well, every one of the 1,200 metres will be absolutely vital.
Oh, much better start by Loeb that time. He's learned something from the first of the 3 finals, and at the moment he has a very slim advantage over Albuquerque, who has the shorter run to the line on this first quarter of a lap.
Is this going to be win number 4 for Sebastian Loeb, or will Filipe Albuquerque come out on top for the very first time?
There.
No, Loeb is in front, and when they get to the line the next time, at the end of a full completed lap, then he will be in front, and Albuquerque will know he's right up against it. But he's beaten Loeb once, he can beat him again.
It's closer than I thought, Martin. It's only going to be a car's length or so.
Don't forget, Loeb won't make the mistake of not changing gear next time. They were close like this before. They're going to be close again. Albuquerque pulled it back the second time, but look at the focus from the World Rally Champion.
Oh, that's put him offline.
There, that bounces a little. Albuquerque a little neater and tighter.
Albuquerque's had a great
He's had a great second part.
He's done that again. That's exactly what he did last time, and now he's got to really keep it going. Loeb comes over the top of the hill. He's going to be on the tight corner in the hairpin. It's absolutely side by side. Albuquerque's got the run.
Could win it. He's on the gas. Loeb is behind.
He's
Albuquerque wins. Filipe Albuquerque, on his first appearance, has won the Champion of Champions title. Get in, Filipe Albuquerque. Wow, as you heard from some of our interviews, not many of the drivers know enough about him to be able to pronounce his name correctly. But the young Portuguese takes it all the way to a third run, and again comes from behind. Came from behind to beat Vettel in the semi, came from behind to beat Loeb in the first and third runs here. Fantastic.
Just again, Martin, that third time when he was back on the outside, he made it count. Fantastic stuff from Albuquerque, and the man who we followed on Midweek Motorsport because of his name all the way through his Formula Renault days has all of a sudden exploded into the limelight. Now, will this do for his career and his, I suppose you'd say, his visibility, what it did for Heike Kovalainen, yeah.
Won't it, though? Well, very happy friends and family, and such a lovely guy.
That is what this event is all about, Martin. Remember when Kovalainen won this and everybody was going, cover who?
Yeah, exactly.
Hikey, hikey, hookie?
Yeah, bakey, shaky, hakey. It is a real chance in the limelight, not just because that it's a good weekend of action, but because of all the other star names that are associated with it. It gets such a big crowd. Such a big crowd.
And this year, and we've been seeing it all the way through the event since we arrived here, it's even gone up a notch on its own normally fantastic lineup of drivers and cars as well. Let's get down to Neil with our Champion of Champions for 2010.
Filipe, when I interviewed you back in Portugal in the summer, when you qualified to come here, did you believe you'd come to Dusseldorf and be Champion of Champions?
Not at all. Man, these guys, they go really fast, really good. And, you know, driving today, even yesterday, I could understand how good they are. We need to go so close to the edge that sometimes I'm touching the wall, but thanks God, everything went smooth today. And I can believe it, like winning to Sebastian Loeb and Vettel in his home soil. Sorry for the Germans, but I'm really happy.
Yeah, but almost nobody beats Sebastian Loeb these days. You've just beaten the 7 times World Rally Champion.
Yeah, I'm really happy because he beat me yesterday in my car. So I went to sleep, really pissed with myself, and it was fantastic, and thanks a lot to them, because even though I'm not German, they really supported. I could see growing up the support from the Germans in here in the stadium, so thanks a lot, even defeating Vettel twice.
Champagne awaits.
But a very sporting round of applause.